Happy Gladiator Wednesday to all those that celebrate the rakeback hitting the sweet, sweet accounts right now. And we're going to spin that stuff up. We're going to win ourselves some hoop slates tonight. And that rakeback is going to turn into cold, hard American cash. But a little housekeeping off the top here. $1 million airdrop coming on Sunday. 10,000 users going to get $100 in bonus cash in their account. So keep your eyes open for that one. Sweet giveaway coming this weekend. And the other thing was I got it pulled up right on my phone right before we came out here. Breaking news. Stat corrections completed today. Weekly winners payouts are taking place or have already taken place. And our playoff best ball tournament advancements and payouts will happen tomorrow. So turn on the push notifications to Underdog drafts for that. And then a new baseball contest just dropped, the Solo Shot. So all sorts of fun stuff going on, Nez. You are muted.
We're ripping and tearing. I don't know what you're talking about. I was never muted. Never muted.
Honestly, Nez, touching tribute to the late departed Neumy.
To be muted like that, yeah. Long live Neumy. But we've always had the Neumy emotes, but now, you kind of buried the lead big time, man. We at no charge, at no additional charge, just completely revamped the memberships and what they offer. I mean, hats off, man. You absolutely went to work yesterday.
I went down a rabbit hole. Once I started, I couldn't stop. And I got a little out over my skis too, because I put in a whole bunch of emotes and then realized that we're actually capped at 14. So I might have to walk it back a little bit here. So I will take requests in the chat from anyone who's got a badge beside their name. If you guys have any requests for emotes in the future, or to replace maybe some of the sport ones, I was thinking, like I put in like a hoops of baseball or whatever, but you can use your normal emotes for those. And maybe we could put in some more Underdog and or BadgeBros specific ones there. Perhaps even a GM of sorts.
Ooh, that'd be a good one. I can see on my side screen there, Brad is, excuse me, I had some sunflower seeds. It's sunflower seed season. It broke 50 Fahrenheit here in Texas, and I immediately grabbed a bag of sunflower seeds, and I've just been going to town, so it's stuck in my throat. Brad is the first one, it looks like, with the badge change. He's got the red badge. He's got the red badge.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so I don't know if people can see. Should we keep it a secret? Because they go all the way up to like 6 or 7 levels now.
They can see if they look in the options. They can see the levels.
Yeah, because you can get the friends and family badge. Then there's a gold one, and yeah, man, it's cool. It's fun. I'm pretty. It's amazing what these little things do that just make it fun.
Blake has one too. I'm sorry, Blake. I would never want to disappoint and upset the OGs. That's a no-no.
Oh, love it, man. All right, you, my friend, are doing some real life big boy stuff. This house hunting business and stuff. So we are confined to a limited window of time today. So let's just jump right into talking hoops, huh?
Yeah. Hoops is a little bonkers today. It's our flagship Wednesday contest, 100K, which that is obviously just awesome and probably the norm for the foreseeable future, maybe even a slight bump depending on what the Hoops liquidity looks like, because, man, Hoops is just going crazy this season. But an interesting 10-game slate. I mean, we got the Jokic news right before we went live, so shout out to the Nuggets for waiting for us to actually go live before they announced that. A lot of Thunder are in, so that should be a pretty fun game regardless, but it really does seem like the 6th round, there are some scroll the F down pieces, don't get me wrong, but I am feeling strong tier breaks throughout the player pool today. I don't know if you've jumped in much. I don't know how you feel about today's slate, but I'm feeling there's some major lines in the sand, it feels like.
Okay. I've done 20 so far. I was not doing a ton of scrolling in the 6th because my favorite piece was Chet. Chet was just sitting there in the 6th for me with a Q tag every damn time. I think now that we got Jokic out and we got Chet in, that's going to skyrocket. J-Dub is out in that game. I think he moves up into like the 28, 29 range for the remainder of drafts today. So that was my big I was kind of upset that they came out with the injury report so early because that was my big quote unquote leverage play of the day. I gotta say one thing though, Nez. You said scroll the F down, and I don't know if the people saw on the internet yesterday that we were told that scrolling the F down might not actually matter here. And I have to say something because Inthrius, a very sharp player on this site, did a little deep dive on some of the BR data, read through his takeaways in the tweet there, and I'm not sure he's correct. I'm not sure he's correct, Nez, because the difference in ADP in the BRs is it's like a bell curve, right? It stops at 36. So we have to look at percentage of player drafted, not ADP. So number of ADP, like players in winning lineups that are greater than like 33 or something, for instance, at like 1.5, that's actually a bull case scenario for scroll the F down, because a person with an ADP over 33 or whatever, call it 35, 33, whatever you want to say, is actually still only drafted like 60, 70% of the time. So it's still a scroll the F down.
It still counts. Luckily, you were well positioned with your brands of scrolling the F down and GM that you were going to come out on top no matter what. You were well prepared for this outcome, no matter what it was.
Did I Nez hedge the brand?
You did. In fact, you did. You were ready no matter what. I haven't gone through that thread yet. I need to. I bookmarked it. I need to look at his conclusions. But I did see that the brand was in trouble, and I was worried that people were going to come for us for advocating for scrolling the F down. But we're all about quick pass to first, easy pass to first. It's the path less traveled. But
there we go.
The thesis remains. Regardless, Inthrius is super sharp, and love to see people, go out and do some, do their own data projects and things like that. So shout out to him for doing that and publishing that. Just another tip of the feather in the cap, meant to say, for the community that we claim. We claim you, Inthrius. Regardless of whether or not you want to be a part of us or not, you're ours, buddy.
I love it. Okay, couple interesting ADPs right off the hop. We saw a slight uptick for Wemby. We've seen the back-to-back limits restriction removed. We've been told that he's going to eventually touch 30, play north of 30. Yet to do so. It's been like 29, 28, like that sort of thing. That's a very interesting ADP to me right now, especially with a Zach Collins looming Q tag, though I'm not sure it matters a whole ton of a lot because you just replace backup 5 in there. Those minutes, they probably don't go to Wemby, but I find that one very interesting. And then you juxtapose that, Nez, to Donovan Mitchell, who Donovan Mitchell looks like he is in a quote unquote smash spot against Detroit on paper, but they're 12.5 point favorites, and you get Darius Garland coming back. You got Evan Mobley back. And then we got a Q tag on Jared Allen. So I like Donovan Mitchell's ADP. That was kind of a long-winded way for me saying I'm team Wemby over Mitchell today at the front end of draft boards. What are your feelings on those two ADPs in particular?
Definitely Wemby over Spida. I think you mentioned it. There was a lot of good info in there. I was kind of getting my stuff prepared. Did you mention like Darius Garland being probable? Yeah. Okay, yeah. So that definitely kind of throws a wrench into things there. But obviously the matchup is fire for Spida. I mean, it's not often the Cavs get a total of 230 or higher, and they've got one today. So the Mitchell ADP makes sense. I think for me, man, I have Sabonis behind Wemby and Donovan Mitchell, which feels a little nervous, makes me nervous for sure. But I'm willing to bet that we don't get a Sabonis ceiling night. And if we do, I think I can still, depending on the room, get an okay amount of Sabonis if I do feel like hedging that. The thing that makes me nervous about Sabonis is, one, ADP, still undefeated, although it took a big hit yesterday. ADP took a big hit. A lot of
the good guys.
projections won in a big way yesterday, or ball knowers, I should say. I worry about ADP biting me in the ass here because this Miami team, I'm like the total on this game. Let me double check. But all this to say, like the new look Heat team with like Terry Rozier getting more minutes now. I just wonder if this Miami Heat team is actually going to be something that we want to target more, or at least be less afraid of, because the typical Miami Heat team that I know is not something that I want to be taking like Sabonis there when we have the Wemby ceiling and Mitchell against the Pistons.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm in lockstep with you there. The Sabonis ceiling game, we saw it last time out, and it came on the back of like 21 boards. The Kings have done some really interesting stuff with their rotations recently. Fox's usage is down. Monk's been staying on the bench longer. He's only been playing like 15, 16 minutes, like that sort of deal, instead of his usual like mid-20s. And they've been deferring a lot to Harrison Barnes on offensive end and Kevin Huerter. So it's kind of like the full perfect storm of, as you alluded to, matchup, as you alluded to, we just saw his ceiling, to be like, okay, this is the ADP that's overpriced of the day. Let's slide him down. Yeah, I'm in lockstep with you there, Nez. I think in a vacuum, I would prefer Sengun today, like 1-on-1v1.
I mean, it's really close. It's really close. I mean, projections would tell you, like Sengun by a hair, I think, depending on where you look.
Mm-hmm. I want to talk about yesterday's slate just for 1 second. Got to give a shout out to AWE419 Anthony. Back-to-back nights, man. He won the chip check, aka the heat check, for 8,080 2 nights ago, and then last night goes nuts and takes not only first but first and third in the crossover. So back-to-back massive nights after joining up and signing up for that red badge. So little endorsement to click that join button down here somewhere like that. I mean, we got 69 viewers right now, the perfect number.
Pretty outstanding, man. Like that's back-to-back nights of doing that is I mean, man, you gotta just tip your cap to that. He was in the chat, I think it was yesterday, Awen. He told me we can call him, or Anthony, Awen, whatever. Man, hopefully I can have a turn. I mean, dude, just his account is so flush right now. It's insane. And did I miss him earlier? Like, where'd this dude come from? Was he on the
No, he's been around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe not
names now that it's not like it once was, where I knew everybody. I don't know everybody anymore.
Yeah, he's definitely been around. I've definitely noticed the screen name in drafts and stuff like that, and noticed him flirting on a given night with top of the leaderboard, but he hadn't been at the very top at the end of the night until now. So that's dope. Good to see there. Yeah, here you go. Neumy2's got it. Yeah, JPB was all over it as well too.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's scroll down a little bit in this ADP stuff. We got the evergreen decision of Durant versus Booker. Booker has been cooking recently, shooting like 60+% from the field right now. The dude's hotter than smoke. Yeah, it's wild. And then you got the Mikal Bridges revenge game on the other side of this. Yeah, do you have a lean on the Phoenix guys? Do you like either of them higher than their ADPs right now?
Not higher than their ADPs. Mm-hmm. I mean, Sengun against the Pelicans really sticks out to me. So I think I might even put Sengun over Booker. But between these two, it's Booker for me, then KD as far as this discussion goes. Projections wise, I think they would agree. Yep, looks like just slightly, but the Nets have been an interesting team to target. So we've seen KD lately has been like eclipsing his like median score quite a bit lately. I mean, I know Booker's been the talk of the town, but KD has been compiling some stocks here along with his 30-point games as of late. could see a KD ceiling. I'm definitely not like fading him. Like I'm not taking Kawhi over KD, although the PG news is definitely very interesting and will have a very big impact. But I think these guys, this range here is pretty fair. You know,
Okay.
I think I'd like an even exposure to all these the top 4 on the screen right now.
Okay. I've been taking Kawhi over him. I think it's a Kawhi night. I think the PG, even if he plays, the groin thing is real. Lou was talking about a minutes limit even before. I mean, I think they should just sit him down for like a week or something, let the groin get right. I mean, this team is absolutely cooking as is, right? And it's like, why push him through it?
It
Like,
feels so obvious, right? Just
right.
sit him for 8 games.
Norm, right. Yeah. Give Norm, I mean, especially if he's only going to play like 22 to 25 minutes, like just give Russ 10 more and give Norm Powell 10 more. And there you go. Yeah.
Fix your rotation for you, Lou.
Yeah, exactly. The KD spot's interesting because Ben Simmons is back on the other side, which low-key, once in his day was a good defender. He's actually going to impact. This is like one of my sneaky little nuggets here. Is we're seeing Bridges and Claxton get drafted in almost every draft at the back end there. I think the Claxton pick is low-key bad if you think Simmons plays tonight. They want to stop playing him like 35, 38, like these insane like ceiling amount of run, but they've had to because Sharp has been out. Now in Simmons' first game back, he didn't play a large amount of minutes. I think he played 19 or 20, something like that, but he played the backup 5. Like he played the 5. So I think that's bad news for Claxton's ceiling games. And they might be missing, or they are going to be missing Dorian Finney-Smith tonight as well. So, if you get no Simmons, you get no DFS, you could find your way to being like, okay, Bridges, revenge game. I like this narrative. I like that sort of thing. And then maybe I like Claxton a little bit more. But I think if you get Simmons in, the Claxton appeal, the shine wears off a little bit. And I still like Bridges a decent amount, but just that was kind of my bro science thoughts.
The Simmons thing is like kind of, I wanted him to play. I thought this was just going to be an awesome matchup for him. Maybe get him like 24 minutes. Dude, he put up like 40 fantasy points, did he not? Like in that limited run, like holy shit, man, just filled it up. It's so awesome. But now the fact that he's downgraded to questionable, like it's Ben Simmons, dude, he's not playing. You don't downgrade Ben Simmons fresh off of, back from the injury. Like I feel I don't think he's playing.
Okay, then that justifies the ADPs right now for Claxton and Bridges. They're fine then if you don't think he plays. He did actually tweak something on like the back end of the game. I was reading that like he actually did tweak something in his last rotation.
Go figure. God.
Yeah,
dude. This guy cannot stay healthy. I wish he would. It would be great if he did, because I think he's, obviously he's great for the league. He's, he does so much. But given that, Bridges and Claxton for me today are in my player pool, obviously, and I don't think I'm going to get too cute on the Nets side outside of those two. But Cam Thomas against the Suns could have a night, but. I'm not getting there in 36.
Fair enough. A lot of smart people in the chat here. Jeb Bush and Gumby calling for ceiling game tonight after watching the touching tribute montage video of KD going back to Brooklyn. That I don't hate that narrative.
Did he play like 50 games for the Nets?
I wonder. Okay, yeah, like higher or lower. He was there for 3 years.
Was it that long?
No, maybe not.
God, man.
Let's guess. Don't look it up. Don't be a coward. Let's look it up. Let's look it up after. Okay, higher or lower?
I can't remember, dude.
Higher or lower 72 games as a Brooklyn Net?
I think higher, but
higher than 72.
I'm gonna say higher than 72, lower than 80.
Okay. Let's do this in real time so everybody gets a sweat. Here we go.
Let's see.
Only place he wore number 7 too.
It's so gross.
Okay, he was there for 1, 2, 3 years, but one of them was a half year. He played 35 games the first year, 55 the second year, and then 39 before being traded to Phoenix. So he smashed the 72 and a half, but he played.
I did not realize it was that long.
Yeah, like 2.5 years.
Damn.
Dude's an all-star every single year. You see that little star beside his name every single year, no matter what. He just needs to show up. That's how good Katie is.
Damn, dude.
Oh, that's fun. All right, Katie's ceiling game. You heard it here from the community. Smarter than me. All right, let's scroll a little bit here. Very interesting next middling range. I think I like James Harden if we think Paul George sits. I expect Paolo's handling to go down a little bit with Fultz back and Fultz starting.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then Franz minutes have upticked. He played like 38 or something last game, which is, back up from he was at like 30, 32, 28 the first 3 games back. And then the 4th game saw like a little bit of a spike. I don't know if it was, because it was more competitive or whatever. I just noticed on the spreadsheets that popped up there. But we have some very interesting debates here with Ant, basically Minnesota going against a completely depleted Dallas team. No Luka, no Kyrie. And then you got De'Aaron Fox. We've seen the downtick in usage, but going against the new flow chart of Tyler Hero and Terry Rozier.
Right.
Maybe guards versus Miami, something to target here in the future. And then Jamal, does he jump this, whole grouping without Jokic?
I guess specifically Anthony Edwards is definitely like tough to call because obviously they could just destroy this team. Like this Dallas team is not a real NBA team at the moment. They're just not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really bad. They might are they going to score 100 points tonight? Probably not.
Is Dallas going to?
Yeah.
I think it'd be tough. I think it'd be tough. Like you have literally the best defensive team in basketball on the other side, and you're running out, Hardy and Tim Hardaway and Dwight Powell and stuff like this, right? Derek Lively. It
sucks. It sucks. So it's like, what are we going to get from the Minnesota guys? It makes me nervous to click Anthony Edwards, but you kind of have to. I was really into Paolo early on, but Jamal Murray for me is like leapfrogged, and I have him like right behind Anthony Edwards right now.
Okay, that checks out. That checks out for me. I think I agree with you. We just got breaking news here that I wanted to hit on. Zion Williamson now with the downgraded Q tag, midday Q, with the foot. They might be without Herb Jones as well. BI looks like a really nice push-up player right now. So for me, it's pushing up Jamal and pushing up Harden if we think PG doesn't go, and then even if he has a minutes limit, and then pushing up now at the back end BI. Those feel like good ones right now.
Damn. Yeah, that's a big one. I mean, I'm always a sucker for some Joval when Zion doesn't play. So
yeah, let me throw some cold water on that one. They've been starting Larry Nance Jr. in second halves of games over him now.
I know.
Is that scary with the Joval?
Of course it does. I don't know. I don't know if that's a one-time thing or if that's like consistent now that they're doing that every single time, which like I just would find strange if it's like only a second half start. Like I guess that's why I'm not an NBA coach. But yeah, Larry Nance is definitely kind of fucking things up there. But this game is at Houston, so you know why Zion's questionable.
Why?
I mean,
Yes, I do know why. Are they going to raise his
Houston and
jersey
Atlanta,
to the
man. I mean,
and Miami? Are they going to raise his jersey to the rafters alongside James Harden?
there was quite a few women who had their tuition paid and had their children's tuition paid last night, and Zion is just he's out of it, man. He can't fucking play today. But the Rockets are like, their home road splits are like actually kind of mind boggling, and going up against the Pelicans tonight, I don't know, man. Like, it makes me more bullish for the Rockets, but. You know, I'm such a sucker for these Pelicans, dude, and no Zion gets me excited for BI, of course, and McCollum. I like McCollum too, but Rockets are a very tough call on here, but it does open up. It makes Zion, it makes BI more comfortable, obviously, to click. I'm presuming Zion out, even though I think Zion has been a late Q active before, but it didn't amount to anything good. Yeah, that's right.
2 games ago, that was the first time, and it came on the back of him missing a game too. So, yeah, interesting. Okay, this range also very interesting. Chicago, I don't think they filed yet. Let me double check before I speak out of turn here. But I don't think they filed because they're back to back from last night. They were in Toronto. Oh, they filed. Okay, Patrick Williams out and Levine, Torrey Craig doubtful. So nothing different than yesterday. So expect everything from Vooch, DeRozan, and Kobe White again in a good matchup versus Charlotte. This next little tier, Nez, is kind of narrative street, and it feels like where we found Dante DiVincenzo of last night was in this range, and I think I might call my shot in this range tonight. All right.
Okay.
Tonight's, maybe not a 60 ball, but tonight's 50 plus score you need from the fourth round or the back end of the third round coming in here. Dame going back to Portland.
Yeah. How does he not just go off?
Right. Like it just full-fledged narrative street. I have nothing to base this on. Yeah. He just goes back there and he goes, remember me in this town forever, Anthony Simons, and just cooks the poor kid.
How does that not happen? I'm surprised projections honestly don't bake in this narrative, because it's just it's happening. It's absolutely happening. I don't want to be caught with I'm the the leader of the Fade Dame fan club, but tonight, man, we gotta close our doors. We're not letting anybody in. It's Dame night, and yeah, on the flip side too, his opposing team, his former team, they all look good too. I'll take Brogdon, Simons, Grant. They all look pretty nice for 6-round dart throws.
Yep, like it. And then the other one I'll add is that we'll be popping in projections, and I will be over the field too, because I'll push him over the Cat tier and the DeRozan and the Allen tier. Will be Miles Bridges. We saw a pretty nice uptick without Melo. I will say Melo is doubtful and not out right now, but this is a different injury than the one he had surgery on and blah, blah, blah. It does not look, they have no reason to rush this kid. They have no reason to do this. I don't think he plays basketball tonight, but I do think it's necessary to say that he is not definitively out. He is doubtful, which is, a slight little gray area there. But some Miles Bridges, and then, some late round stuff on Nick Richards I've done once or twice. Probably not getting to Ish Smith. The assist bump will be huge and is very huge when Melo's not on the court, but he just can't fill it up. He just doesn't score. So his ceiling's so capped. And then we saw PJ Washington ceiling game, but I'm a masochist when it comes to seeing the good in shitty teams here, Nez. So stop me before I bury myself in Hornets garbage.
Yeah, stop. Just absolutely stop there. Like I feel like you can barely get to Brandon Miller today. You can, but I like Miles Bridges quite a bit. This game is just It looks super, super ugly. 214.5 total, by far the lowest total. Like by far. The next closest is the Dallas and Minnesota game at 221.5. I mean, Hornets, dude, are abysmal right now. But Miles Bridges does what we want for fantasy. So this is definitely a good spot for him. The usage is crazy. A lot of boards going his way, a lot of points. So I have him ahead of Cat as well. I'm definitely going to be over average, so over 16% on him. But I'm gonna pump the brakes on being like way too bullish, just because this game does look to be just absolutely terrible. The Bulls are coming in from Atlanta, right?
Toronto. Yeah.
Oh, they played at home though. So they went from home.
They play at home?
Yeah, but regardless, back to back, traveling to Charlotte. I mean, everything about this game does look pretty shitty, but it's weird because like Miles Bridges just soaks up everything on the Charlotte side. So he looks like a good play. Like he's actually like being underdrafted by a few spots, depending on where you're looking for projections. And then on the Bulls side, they're also super concentrated. Like this team is a dream without Zach LaVine. Like it's just great because you can take either White, DeRozan, or Vooch, and Kobe White once again, just like yesterday, sitting there with the best projection in PRA out of all the Bull starters, and he has the lowest ADP. So you can go right back to the Kobe White well, in my opinion. I mean, he's so cheap that,
I like that.
It's you're not losing much by going to him.
And a little bit of leverage because down here he's going to go undrafted at some frequency as well, right? Okay, this next middle tier we kind of we like BI now. We hit the Brooklyn stuff a little bit. Vooch and Bam always just feel good. We got Vooch versus the centers of Charlotte narrative, though not as desirable as it once was when like Mason Plumlee was there, but it's still in effect, right? Yeah, the Minnesota guys, I'm just naturally going to be down on. I got a bro science game theory play here, Nez, that if I have the Minnesota guys in my lineup, I want to be the 6th round Dallas piece by getting leverage with Tim Hardaway Jr. or Hardy in the last round. Because I think the only way the Minnesota guys go ceiling on a 10-game slate is if that game stays competitive. And I don't think either of us think that game's going to stay competitive. Mm-hmm. So I think if we want to build out Minnesota in an intelligent way, you will paint a narrative that one of the guys on the other side go nuke in counter with them. Yeah,
I like that. I like that call a lot. I'm trying to think, like it made me think about game stacking, in our contest. And is this type of thought process transferable to other slates and in other matchups where, not just trying to get the game that's competitive, but, also staying away from other games that could be blowouts, in that same vein, just kind of, leveraging yourself there. It's something I've been thinking about more, but no, I think that makes a lot of sense when you have a large spread like this. If you're taking the favorites, take the underdog opponent as well. Like you said, I think that's a really good point. We kind of glossed over just real quick. I want to touch on Bam.
Okay.
Everybody's least favorite player right now. If he delivers in his previous game, Bam is probably going like top 10.
Right.
But he fell flat on his goddamn face, and this Miami team is still figuring itself out, and people are scared to take Bam, and he's playing the Kings.
Yep, I like
nothing to be afraid of here, folks.
Yep.
It's this is just one of those. This is one of those spots where this is why we play on Underdog. Like he might not smash. I fully acknowledge that, but you are paying such a discount for Bam against the Kings that just should not exist. That this is what we do. You buy in on play. We've said this for NFL. When you have this happen and you have the recency bias hit, you take Bam out of bio against the Kings when he is priced where he is priced every single time. And you don't, and you feel good about it, even if he flops, which he might.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, for the same reasons we didn't like Sabonis at the front end of the board, you double down by saying you like Bam. Because why don't we like Sabonis? Well, we don't think he's going to clean the glass against Bam. Well, that's probably because Bam's cleaning it on his ass, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I kind of agree with this point here that ADP does feel a little off right now. Yeah, Hab's saying what we said off the top there, that Chet was my favorite ADP, and I guess still is if he's still sitting there. 6th round feels off. Yeah, I'll always find a way to scroll my. Yeah, Magikarp bringing up a good point that guys go off in blowouts all the time. Absolutely. I just think it's a pretty unique scenario of leverage where I think Minnesota can win this game handedly, but it be 100-70 because their defense is so effing good. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think I think the Minnesota one stands out to me different than other style of game environments.
They can get pushed. Oh yeah, sorry. This is a great point. This is a
North Carolina point. Knowledge here.
I love a narrative, and I tell you what, man. No, Kobe. I don't know anything about Kobe White, but let me just project that this dude loves being back in UNC, or not UNC, but being back in North Carolina. Went to school, UNC guy. He just seems like a guy that cares about that type of shit. Just fuel to the fire.
He's been listening to Lil Baby all day. Is it Baby or Lil Baby?
Da Baby.
Da Baby.
The fact that you knew that there was a rapper named Baby that is like, I got a great job, John. You're
well-rounded.
It's crazy.
I'm a well-rounded, cultured individual, not just the hick piece of shit everyone thinks I am. All right.
Nobody had a quicker fall off than DaBaby. Man, DaBaby was taken the summer by storm when he first came on the scene. I've never seen a fall like such a dramatic fall off from a rapper that I thought for sure was going to like reach heights. That was a shame, man. Sometimes on a nice day, I'll listen to old DaBaby music and I'm like, man, this guy could have
been. Yeah,
and then his selection turned terrible. Oh my goodness. Anyways,
DaBaby, Kyle Pitts of the rap game.
Why is Kyle Pitts a baby?
No, just like we thought it was going to be amazing, and then the fall off.
That is sorry. That was another +1. That was good.
Job Boy Beats King of the Sheet in here telling us it's Keegan Murray Day. Interesting. I not one that had crossed my desk yet. So that interesting call right there. While we're talking about the rap stuff right now, Nez, I started season 4 of Atlanta the other night. Dude, have you watched
to catch up on that? I've only seen like the first season and like loved the first season and then forgot to pick up with the rest.
Yeah, the later seasons, it's like getting better and it's becoming more like cultural and social commentary. Yeah. I likened the first 2 episodes to like the rap game version of Black Mirror. Like it was kind of
that's what I heard. He's kind of taking it like thriller-ish.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Not necessarily like I wouldn't say like thriller, but it's taking it like kind of like mind fuck, like twisting and turning you in a couple different ways.
Nice.
Anyway, I thought it was good.
No, I need it's on my list. It's on my list of a show that I know that I like and I need to catch up on.
Yeah. Speaking of shows on my list, Johnny Basketball's hitting the new Netflix series on NASCAR. I'll be all over that one. I gotta circle the calendar to watch that one.
Drive to Survive. Did you know Keegan Murray has a brother in the NBA?
No, I don't think I did.
It was jarring when I found this out because I'm watching he's on the Blazers, so I'm watching the Blazers and I'm looking. I'm like, that looks just like Keegan Murray, and it's
Chris Murray with
brother Chris. They are identical as identical twins get. Both went to Iowa, but Keegan is isn't that kind of wild? I mean, it's cool that your brother's in the NBA with you too, but like when you probably can give him like a run for his money in 1v1, but like your brother plays so much more and is so much more of a player,
right.
like the margins for being a valuable player or not in the NBA are so thin. But no, they are like identical twins. It is crazy how much I mean, I feel like I'm discovering twins for the first time, but I swear
well, it's kind of crazy that like one's like a lotto pick and then the other one's like, 15th, 16th man G leaguer, like on
garbage
and off the
time
roster
for the Blazers. Yeah. Like not just garbage time for any team, but for the Blazers.
Yeah. Because like the Canucks, they had identical twins that were like face of the franchise for like 15 years. The Sedin brothers here.
Oh, I don't know them.
So they traded up and they took both of them in like I think they had the first pick, or they traded down, or they traded up to get the third, and they took them back to back and then kept the brothers together for like a 15-year run. So, pretty cool. Anyways, okay, let's talk about a couple really interesting ones at the back here for my money. Jalen Green's been playing some phenomenal basketball, and now all of a sudden he's flipped ADPs with Fred VanVleet and is getting owned all over the place. He's been playing really nice, man, and he had a pretty clutch block to send a game to overtime. I think I was watching on Friday night. So also we always joked that like, hey, Jalen doesn't do anything other than fill it up, and he cannot get home. And now all of a sudden, man, maybe he's becoming low key a little bit of a complete basketball player. He's never going to be a stock guy, but.
I told you, I follow this one guy. I forget who it is, but he's not even like a Rockets beat reporter. I think he's like a Rockets super fan, to be quite honest. But like, he's always talking about the team, and he's been talking about Jalen Green taking a step forward as like a defender and a basketball player. Yeah, he's clearly running hot, but I think this is like kind of okay to chase at where he is. I mean, that ceiling is no joke, man. Absolutely no joke. Like, and against the Pelicans, I think there's
Zion, couple boards up for grabs.
Yeah, dude, I think there's better teams to bet the Linsanity run ends against than at home against the Pels. I don't know, man. Rockets are dope.
I wanted to bring up Jabari Smith just for 1 second because some of his production coincided with him being out. And when you see like 10 rebounds, you're like, oh, someone wasn't on the floor. Where's Jabari? Well, Jabari comes back and plays 36 minutes against the Lakers, and Jalen Green still plays 40 and still finds his way to 12 boards. So, I mean, dude, Jalen Green might be a player all of a sudden again. Like there was trade talks before. They were talking about, how guards of his size flare out and whatever, but dude, they've found something here. I don't know.
Rockets are dope. They're close. They're very close.
Let's 1v1 it tonight. Fred VanVleet or Jalen Green tonight. Probably no lockdown D from Herb Jones on the other side. And maybe no Zion.
I think, for my dollar, I would still probably take Fred VanVleet, if I was to, run the Sims, what the fuck ever. Like, I think I still take Fred VanVleet in the vacuum over Jalen Green, but the Jalen Green run is pretty. I mean, dude, if it wasn't for this Jalen Green run, like I agree with that John there that, Jabari Smith looks like he could have an awesome night too. Like, don't sleep on him as a scroll down option.
Okay. I like it. Yeah. I think someone from the Rockets, I don't know who it's going to be, but I think I like all three of those as 6th round picks to get to. I'm not sure I want to get overweight Jalen Green at his ADP, despite what we've seen in recent memory.
Yeah, that feels really risky. Like get a share or two, and get this, man. What? The Pelicans are actually favored tonight.
Huh?
I would never have guessed that.
Yeah, especially after the Zion news. Yeah, I don't know.
What the fuck?
Pels are so weird. I'll say this, and I heard someone else smart say this on the ETR show the other day. I think it was Dink who said it. I don't know. It might have been Gallagher. It was one of the two. But the Pels haven't played like a close basketball game in weeks.
Dude, I know. Everything they do is a blowout, either one way or the other.
Yeah, so it's been really hard to read into their rotations and stuff like that and look at their box scores and feel comfortable clicking them. But the fact that what's the total and spread on that game?
230.5, which is pretty high for a Rockets game, and -1. So it's essentially a pick'em.
Dude, we got a pick'em line for a 230 total game, and we might be without Zion. Like, that makes me like BI and Herb Jones. That makes me like all sorts of pieces of that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, McCollum. I think McCollum might be the sneakiest piece of all in this game.
Okay.
Ooh.
Takis.
I never heard that level bark from him. A nice low and.
The guys are fixing the.
Get your Tucker emotes out, folks.
Yeah, get the Mr. Good Boys going. Okay, a couple questions here for you. Can you talk through the Cade thing? Okay, I gotta go.
Yeah,
a couple of rooms over and take care of this guy. But the Cade one, you suggested Cover Boy, and I actually removed BG, went offline, and I couldn't rip him as a Cover Boy, so I had to use pre-existing photos.
Oh, dude, I got credits. I've got credits. I could have done it for you.
No. Like it's offline right now. Like, you can't use it right now.
Our beloved removed beat. Oh wow, I thought you.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Oh, it's back. It's back. Maybe
yeah. So it was. You. Yeah. Anyway, so the Cade one's very interesting. We saw the probable tag the other night, and then he was ruled out after lock. We got the probable tag again today against a traditional not great spot, but he came back to some insane usage. He came like straight off from not playing for multiple weeks and played 34 minutes and was handling the ball like crazy. Walk me through the Cade one, or walk the chat through it. I gotta see this guy real quick.
Well, John did a pretty good job of breaking that shit down, guys. I mean, let's be real. He told me to walk you through that, and meanwhile, he takes you through everything you need to fucking know about Cade tonight. Like, what else is there to say, folks? But really, it does seem like Cade is the type that if he does play, that they're just like they don't know what a minutes limit is for the boy, and he just has this insane usage, like John was saying. An oddly high total for a Cavs game, but they're 12.5 dogs, so it's more so about the Cavs running it up on the Pistons. But I wish he was like ADP 35 instead. But anytime Cade is in the 30s, it catches my eye, and it's something that I want a part of, because really, man, like in the 6th, you want like 40 points. That's good, and he has the ceiling to like break slates too. But is that necessarily a ceiling that we're going to see coming off a late scratch against a Cavs team at Cleveland? Probably not, but I still think he has a nice median projection tonight.
Yeah, for me, it was hard to justify taking him over Chet in the last round. Like, that Denver game without J-Dub, it just felt like a good Chet spot in general. Now I expect Chet to push up into like the 4th or the 5th, and now Cade to like come back down and just kind of hover where he still is in the 6th there. So I will get some 6th round Cade, just because of what you alluded. Like, the ceiling is monstrous if he gets full run. It's just whether or not he's going to. And maybe I'm scarred a little bit from the Hallie situation last night, where it's like probable tag, he's coming back, no reporting of a minutes restriction, and then all of a sudden in the 3rd quarter, will not return tonight, minutes restriction. And it's like, what are we doing, right? So yeah, I just view Detroit as like they have so many effing bodies right now that they just don't know what to do, who to play, where to go with it, that there's probably no reason to push Cade, especially when they're 12.5 point dogs, is kind of where I was at.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I just worry. I'd rather get it now. Like, I do think that you can get it fairly cheap. Chet with the green button is going to push up. But if we get a green button on Cade, then he's inevitably going to push up. You know, just no matter what the news is, if he's active, he's going to get drafted way more. So,
do you hear that like rumbling?
Mm-mm.
Okay,
maybe other people
no. Let me know in the chat if you can hear it, and I'll keep doing like the mute thing and whatnot. The fucking fence guys just show up whenever they want. They don't even hit me up anymore. Like, they don't even text anymore, and it's just like, I get that you're like a buddy of a buddy's company, but like, come on, like, at least have the decency to be like, yo, is now cool? Okay.
No
anyways,
respect for the BadgeBros.
No respect whatsoever. They got no idea. Okay, we got the chat one you said there. I saw Malcolm Brogdon Knight in the chat there. The flow chart would indicate that taking the other side of that Bucks game might be fine in either Simons or that. We said Brandon Miller might see a little uptick in usage as well. There, any other names you want to add here, or should we just hop in and draft?
No, we can just hop right in. Franz Wagner is always somebody that I take a little bit of.
Yep, likewise, I really agree with that shout there, Nez, especially after we saw it get up 38, 30, 32 in terms of the minutes and the production slowly following. So I like that. You could do worse than Russell Westbrook against the Wizards. A little bit of a revenge game.
Wow.
No, but you could do worse if you think that game's going to be low-key lopsided and, him or Norm Powell are the guys kind of like running it out with that second unit. If PG doesn't go, I mean, there's a ceiling there.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. If PG doesn't play, he definitely becomes really, really interesting. I mean, he's been playing better. I don't know if it's on purpose or just, the way things are bouncing for him, but it does seem like they are giving him more run. So against the Wizards with no PG, I mean, he becomes definitely a 6-round click. It makes things really interesting, man. There are a lot of guys that can ruin tonight in the 6th,
Yeah.
Basically,
yeah, I mean, AKA who is tonight's Aaron Naismith?
Jesus Christ.
Hey, I was told Naismith like 3 shows ago, or maybe it was in the Discord after like 3 shows ago. I was told he had no ceiling. Come on. The guy ices threes and plays big minutes.
That was so frustrating, dude.
That was so frustrating.
I didn't think anybody got to him last night. I didn't think that anybody was getting to freaking Naismith.
I got a theory right now with the NBA and NBA in general. The larger the slate, the more dense the ownership, and the inverse is true on the short slates. So we had a 12-gamer on Monday. We have a 10-gamer today. People's player pools are smaller because of the perceived ceiling of players in which they're available than they are on the shorter slates. Because the shorter slates, you get to a point, everyone looks the same, and you just start randomizing between Precious Achiuwa, Thad Young, Naismith, and whoever in the back of drafts yesterday. Whereas in this one right now, we're pretty certain that Chet is mispriced, that CJ McCollum's mispriced, that BI's mispriced, and we find more comfortable clicks, so the ownership condenses.
So I think I'm trying to think about how to explain my thought on this. I hear what you're saying. Mm-hmm. And I agree that there is a lot more randomness. Oh, okay. What do you think, Spida or
sure.
Book? I agree. It's on the larger slates, relative like percentage of players drafted.
Yeah,
is it should not be what it is on large slates. People, this is where you scroll the F down. Right. On these large slates. I do like Kawhi here. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna the chat's gonna hate me because they're all telling me the narrative. They're telling me it's KD night, but I have to hold true and have a spine to the cover boy there. When we are afforded the opportunity to take him, I have to take him.
Yeah, you have to. No PG if he actually doesn't end up playing. I mean, Kawhi, even with everybody healthy, has been popping off this season.
Yeah, the Hallie minutes restriction directly coincide, but it was fueled by revenge. That's good. Magikarp's in lockstep with the take here. I don't know. It's just something I've been really, really thinking about, that we're scrolling in the wrong spots or in the right spots, or maybe we think because today, for instance, nobody's gonna pass on this middle tier, right? Where last night people would pass on it and push up DeRozan and then, push up DiVincenzo at 17 when he was 25. Stuff like that doesn't happen when the names on the board are Fox versus Harden,
Yeah, Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I think like a larger, like on smaller slates, like, you know, the percentage of the player pool that's drafted is going to be a larger number,
Right.
but it needs to be larger on these larger slates. It's not as big as it should be. Is what it comes like. Yeah. And maybe people in our community are are drafting differently, and their player pools are larger than the average player on that is entering this contest. Like I hear what you're saying, and I agree.
Okay.
Just trying to think about like what data point I would bring up. I don't know.
This is like my backside. This is a conversation for another day, and one that we promised to have. This is my backside argument and take of why we can't share draft boards. Because I don't know everyone's exposures. I can't see everyone's exposures. And if I see that like night after night, every single night, regardless of player names, that, you know, the Mount Rushmores of NBA are just flipping the board or shifting mean projection, or every single one of Crash Rich's drafts in NFL that he has 235 plus ADPers on it or whatever, I don't want people to connect those dots. I want the ambiguity to remain in the middle, and I want to just know, you know, this is what ADP is. These are the results. I don't know.
You're going to auto-draft Jared Allen real quick.
Fuck that. Bam? You like Bam?
Yeah, it's Bam.
Okay.
But I guess my counterpoint to that is like, if what they're doing is successful, like you can just see it on the leaderboards, you know? Like
I don't think you can. I don't think you can. That's the difference. I think that's what it is for me. Like, I don't really results...
like. Are you bringing home the bacon by turning $5 into $20 because you have a good strategy?
Maybe over time, yeah. Like your ROI could be like pretty strong. I don't know. Vooch chat likes Vooch. Yeah,
because I say that because what breaks you even / gets you home / like makes this worth it is the first place finishes, you know? And
but if I can reverse engineer that people are getting more 1% lineups, or I can reverse engineer their exposures. Like right now, you and I share our exposures because we share our exposures because it's like whatever. For all I know, the way in which I'm playing is like so wrong comparative to like the biggest winners on the site. And then now if I can reverse engineer that, I think that's inherently flawed.
It's flawed that it can
become solved. Yeah. Because like I don't know, like JBB is at the top of his sheet right now, right? Or he's adjacent to or whatever. He shared his exposures to the Flacco week, right? Where he did like 93%, like whatever. I don't know. Is he doing that every single night on every single slate? Or that's something that I never attempted in NFL this year. Like, is that wrong that I wasn't attempting that?
I autoed the playoff contest, and I tell you what, if the teams that I autoed made the Super Bowl, I would be sitting with like 10 teams in the finals with any of that team. Like my Browns teams, my fucking Packers teams, man.
Right.
I advanced 23 out of like 30 Little Mittens returns 5s. Like autoing in the playoff basketball contest, I find to be actually possible and doable.
Right.
But it really depends on how the slate lines up and you know, and knowing that you can bank a stack, you know, every single time at this round, and then randomize your top 3 outside of that. I think I just, man,
I think that's a slightly different conversation for what it's worth. Like my thing isn't like results oriented. Like mine's like, maybe you played well. Did you play well? Like, who cares how many made the finals? Who cares who whatever? Did you build plus EV rosters by doing that? And I think I would venture to guess yes, but I don't definitively know.
I won a lot of money back, and I set myself up to have
that doesn't matter to me.
Well, like I didn't finish my thought. Like I won a lot of money back, and I set myself up to absolutely crash the finals. if
Yeah.
those teams, if those teams that I played for the Super Bowl made the Super Bowl, I would have crashed the finals with like 10 teams in the finals.
Right.
Like
Right.
it would have been nuts. It would have been nuts.
Who do you like here? Kobe White? We got Vooch. Is that bad? The chat was
I don't
telling
know how
us
bad they
it's
negatively
Brogdon
correlate.
night. Chat's telling us it's Brogdon night.
Yeah, let's Brogdon revenge game again. You know, and with the flow chart, I guess the way that I also think about this. Let's make this pick too, and then I kind of want to just. We don't have to tie a bow on it, but I do want to just make a point from my stance on this subject.
Yeah, for sure. Fred VanVleet, Kobe White. Feels like Fred VanVleet to me.
I like VanVleet here.
Yeah. Especially if you don't think PG is going to play. Evergreen reminder, if you don't think PG is going to play and you want that swap, take him in the 5th, not the 6th, because of the way the snake orders go for whatever. For the audio listeners, we got Donovan Mitchell, Kawhi Leonard, Bam, Vooch, Malcolm Brogdon, and Fred VanVleet. Not my favorite, but the thesis holds true, Nez, that we see Chet pushed up there. We saw Jalen Green pushed up pretty heavy there. We saw BI move all the way to 21. So ADP not in lockstep with what the rooms are actually doing. Finish your thought, my friend.
So when it comes to getting data on people,
yeah,
I don't know how knowing what Pat Kerrane did in last season, or this season rather, in last season, getting every team he drafted from this season and last season, looking at what he did helps.
I don't think it matters
in BBM5. I don't think that matters. And I don't know how.
That's why they released the data. I'm not talking about best ball. I'm talking about daily contests.
Well, let's be clear though. You did not like that they put the team names. You didn't like that they had ownership tied to each team, and I don't think that matters. And when it comes to dailies, I don't know how seeing how I drafted my teams in a peer-to-peer contest where we're drafting the top 36 players night in and night out actually is the transferable way to I know what Nez does. Like, I mean, I kind of pick favorites and if they hit, they hit. Like, I like the Pelicans a lot. Like, you know, like Crutches called me out before. He's like, Nez is gonna go Joval. Like, you're right. I love the Pelicans. Yeah. I take the Pelicans quite a bit. I attack certain teams regardless of projection. Like, that's what I do. But, you know, when it comes to a peer-to-peer game where we're taking the top 36 players, like the secret is you take the best players. Like, I feel like everybody's cards are on the table. I feel like it's different.
Yeah. Okay. So my issue is like with DFS, I feel like your cards are on the table because the game is played pre-lock and then lock goes and it gets changed. I think with draft games, there's like this big ambiguous middle ground where there's actually a skill set tethered to drafting. So like if you think every single person's just auto drafting and they're just setting like that's fine. But I think there's something to like the portfolio management side that knowing everyone's exposures on a given night would lead to solve, because you just remove player names. Like, I don't give a fuck if it was Pelicans that night. I don't give a fuck if it's whatever. And you just find out a mean projection relative to an ADP from winning players. And then you just like reverse engineer like a bot that can beat the games like that. So like for me, it's like my analogy is GPBs on Underdog are like poker tournaments, like MTTs, where it's like you get the hand history of all the hands you played. You get to see what all the action at your table was. You don't get to see every single hole cards from every single player at every single table to then see the result, because the game has to be played. And then seeing like, hey, this so-and-so finished first, second, and whatever. And you go, hey, I sat at their table for 20 hands, 30 hands. You don't get to see every single hand that person played throughout the day, because like I don't know. It like my stance is more like in like protectionism of the games and like the longevity of the games more so than it is, you know, in am I concerned about cheating, collusion, etc. Anyways,
sure. Yeah. And my response to that quickly is that it's like the boogeyman of these games are dynamic auto drafting programs. That is the boogeyman of these games.
Agreed.
If somebody tasked me to say, hey, Nez, help me build this boogeyman, I would not need past data to train this model. The inputs that I would need would not come from past draft boards. What I would need are just parameters and rules. I don't care about past drafts. Those are past drafts.
But you could specify the rules based on past drafts, and then it'd be actionable. Right now, you're working on speculative information. You could be working on actual information if you had all the past drafts.
Which tell you what I could tell you via rules and parameters. That the best.
No, it tells you what you think you could tell us right now. You don't know you could tell it. We don't definitively know best practices. Maybe that's where we're differing here. It's like, I don't think we definitively know best draft practices right now. I don't think that's solved. And I think there's like a really good chance that if you released a bunch of data, you see that like, oh my God, we're drafting so bad in NBA. Like, I think there's like legit edges right now that like, oh, you should never have like, just hypothetically, you should never have more than 3 players, or maybe you should always have more than 3 players. Like, I don't know where it falls on that spectrum, but I'm saying like, I think we could be drafting like really poorly right now. Even in football, where we do like skinny stacks and, you know, maybe one bring back or no bring back or whatever, like we might be drafting like completely wrong, and we should never have any stacks. We don't know, but we could know if we had it all.
Regardless, point being that the dynamic auto drafting bot that will hopefully never come does not require the data from drafters. And I do sort of I lean more agnostic, but I do lean more towards like your end of things, where it's like, you know, playing is how you get at you earn your right to that data by playing the games. I like that take. I think that is a great take. And I would agree with that. I do think there is like a merit to, you want the data, then get your ass in these lobbies and play with us. It's right there if you want it. So I think this conversation is so fun, and you know, God forbid that to me is just something that I don't want ever to come. And I think I could still fare well against those things. It just opens up a very, very messy window if that.
It does. It really blurs the lines, like what we're seeing in poker these days, of like what's ethical, right? It's like, you know, how far is too far with simulation, automation, you know, real-time assistance, right? Like, is it too far? Is it too far to have something that's telling you to correlate this player with this player while you're drafting? I don't know. I don't necessarily have a stance on that yet. But if I had something that was entirely backed by historical data that was like actionable, and then it was auto drafting for you, well, maybe then it's a little bit different. Anyways, it's a really fun combo. It's one of which we hope to have with like some community. I really want to do the even if it's behind paywall or whatever, that we have the community discourse of like, you know, where can we go with these games kind of thing, and what people want to see from them. Because I think, you know, just like debating and stuff and discourse is just like so good for like the evolution of the games and the knowledge. Like even just that little like 10-minute debrief that we have there just like opens everybody's minds to like different things. And I'm sure people have some really sharp things to say in retort to everything we just said. Nez, I got baseball on the thumb here. I was going to put football on the thumb as well and let the people choose. But I think in light of this new baseball being dropped and the fact that we'll probably do football on Fridays and stuff like that, I think I might just, you know, hop in a dinger here. And if you got to dip out at some point, you got to dip out. Yeah. I can help you halfway. All right, let's do it. I am looking for the dinger. Let's do it. I think this will be my third or fourth draft. 10 spots. Here we go. Full lobby. Let's go, folks. Let's fill this bad boy. There's also a PGA Daily up right now for Pebble Beach. Wow, this shit's filling. Let's go, man. Baseball is so alive. I'm working on how to attack this
PGA contest. Now, mind you guys, I am not a golf expert. I had a very nice night and it made for a very good tweet. I am not a golf expert, but I will do my best to figure out what is the best move for this golf contest. And the reason why I think that this is something worth looking at is because it's once again a split course contest where round one is 2 different courses for 2 different sets of golfers. So we're going to do a deep dive, figure out.
North Course Nez back?
North Course Nez? Who's to say?
Yeah.
So we're going to figure out which course has the edge. I can't really. Okay. See, this is what I was thinking, man. That Pebble. So the one is Pebble Beach, and I forget what the other one is. So in the golf thread, I'm going to need you guys' help, and we're going to talk about this in the golf thread in the Discord. So, this is a fun contest, man. Neumy juiced this one. It's 40K. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That is big.
Yeah, big time.
This is the I was not familiar with your game.
I'm golf
emote
code,
right
man.
now. This is Ronald Acuna. Not much of a discussion to be had here, I don't think.
No, Acuna could regress and probably will regress and still be the 101. They were having a conversation about it on Rates and Barrels, of course, which is like the 101 of baseball talk. But
other than stacking dingers, of course.
Duh. Hello. They gotta get either DVR or Eno on there. That would be just so dope.
I'm gonna try my best, Ness. We're gonna try our best.
Yeah, we gotta get Eno. Acuna, it was wild, and she kind of pointed this out. He was the first one that really called it out. Is that Acuna never his strikeout rate just plummeted last season in a good way. Almost like an aberration that this just shouldn't be a thing. So it's probably gonna change and probably regress to the mean somewhat. But regardless, man, I mean, he's still gonna steal bases. He's still gonna hit home runs. Still plays with a monster lineup. Enough said, really.
Yeah, absolutely. The strikeout rate, yeah, that's a really good note there, though, because that was always kind of his one crutch, his one downfall, where it was he was going to have an above 30% strikeout rate to go with all the fun stuff that he did. And last year, I think it was in the teens.
It was crazy, man. He went from in 21, 23%, 22, 23% to 11% K rate.
Okay, so I was 11%. Off by. It was never as high as 30, but 23 to 11. So he cut it by 12%. That's wild.
It was 29% in the fake season.
Right. Okay. So he cut 12% off his strikeout rate, which is actually cutting 60% of his strikeouts total.
The raw number
50.
It went from 120 to 84.
Wow. I got 40 Ks off.
Yeah. I mean, he K'd 40 less times in 40 more games.
Okay.
That's just insane. Just absolutely insane.
Oh, baby. T-Bear throwing me the feels right now. He's going, hey, what if Kelenic does the same here? He's just pulling on my heartstrings right now.
The Braves seem like a very smart org, man. I do wonder what they can do with Kelenic.
Yeah, that's a really fair point there. I guess what is the ideal Kelenic trajectory is he becomes the Ozuna replacement for the next X amount of years.
I think that's a good call. That's a good role.
I was looking for. Oh, shit, my mind just went blank, Nez. I was looking for something important.
For baseball?
Oh, yeah, something baseball adjacent. I was looking for, and then my mind just shut off.
Well, we're about to be on the clock here with 2 picks, and we're sitting pretty. Seager, of course, man. Dude, just always something with him. I think he just had a hernia surgery.
Oh, for real?
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So
Do you think
getting
he
a
should
discount
fall?
on him, I don't know, man. I don't think so. But what about Toolshed?
I think Devers is mispriced. I think Toolshed is appropriately priced. I will not lie. I will not let my biases jump in here, Nez. I actually have Toolshed on the first 6 ones. I like
Okay.
Devers, I think. And then does the Seager stuff scare us enough to take Vlad or Toolshed instead? Or Mike Trout?
I don't think it's that scary. Like, he might miss time later in the season, but Corey Seager's still going to be stupid efficient in playing with one of the best offenses in baseball.
I mean,
Load
he
up.
did make a case for, I mean, it was an outside case, but he made a case for MVP last year, and he had like 150 less at bats, kind of deal.
He was unbelievable. He was unbelievable, man. Slugged like 623 last year, just ridiculous numbers. And
I think,
the team around him is only getting better.
yeah, the team is getting better. That's crazy. I think he literally had a case for the best WAR season for a shortstop ever. I'm pretty sure it was like on par with
6.1 in 120 games.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't WAR then. Maybe it was some other metric. Someone tweeted it, and I was reading.
Was it WRC plus? Or
Yeah, it might have
WOBA?
been WRC plays. Yeah,
I mean,
It was- maybe
169. It's
wow.
ridiculous.
Yeah, maybe it was the best shortstop WRC plus season. I don't know.
Yeah, and if this team gets Langford, he might break camp with the team. I mean,
Yeah,
who knows?
dude, we took him the first draft there. People thought I was crazy,
You took him late too, right? Or no?
Yeah. No, we got him like, 16th round or 15th round, something, 14th round. Yeah.
He's like a 10th rounder now.
Wow, he's pushing up.
Have you seen how big he is? Like,
No,
just how big he is. I'm gonna put in the private chat an image for you to pull up in
Big
a new
beefy
tab.
baseball boy.
Dude, he's like if Tyler O'Neill was good. No disrespect to your
That hurts.
good Canadian boy.
Yeah, that hurts my feelings. Oh, Ute Caleb Bees. He's buying our start here.
Oh, he loves it. He loves it.
Devers, monstrous. That was
All right.
great.
I put it in the private chat for you. That's our boy.
Yeah. Yeah, the Seager Simeon stack feels like the nuts. I mean, Simeon doesn't miss time either. Like, he's just so effing consistent.
They're so good. I mean, and like top to bottom, the Rangers are just a problem.
Yeah. This is an interesting point to go back to our conversation there from JBB. John Boy just saying that like the strategies are secular in terms of like sometimes it's random and luck what works on a given day. So maybe it's too hard to pair slates and drafts to know what is a viable strategy every single day. So ripping off to ADP works some days, ripping off the ETR ranks works one day, mixing within tiers works some day, having 2 6-rounders works some day. So that does play to your point of like the draft boards are kind of like irrelevant jargon to add because strategies differ so greatly slate to slate.
Oh yeah, this is NBA is a very cyclical game. I mean, you go through ebbs and flows, and sometimes you're nailing shit, sometimes you're not, and it's also a question of with the projections, are projections getting sharper or running hot? What is like are they running hot or are they actually like honing in and now it's like projections no matter what? Like I don't think that'll ever be the case.
Yeah, that's fair. And then we had the conversation the other day that it was almost tongue in cheek, but it's like, are we sure the underdog projections aren't the best model out there too? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's within range outcome that like the projections on the site now, they've been so damn good for like a while, right?
It's kind of, it is wild, man. It's like, is it ADP or is it the projections? I really wish I had tracked this more just to, maybe that's something our our flaccid waffle, the Wood, dude changes his name our unofficial official data scientist for the Discord. Maybe he can throw that in there and track it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Some comments in the chat there that the Mike Trout at 31 is wild. I mean, taking Oatmeal Reynolds over Mike Trout just feels so bad, but I'm not going to question our guy. I'm not going to question my guy, Wu-Tang.
That's the only reason he did that.
Okay, I'm going to open up your thing here. 1 second. We got to think about who we're going to pick here because I'm not overly well versed here. Oh, there we go. Yamamoto's new ADP at 42 there. I mean, I know he's getting steamed up on some redacted season-long sites and stuff like that, man. That Dodgers rotation just scares the shit out of me right now. Like, he could easily, they've invested their future in him, and Ohtani is going to find a way to pitch, not this year probably, but in the future there. Like, this could be this gross-ass 6-man rotation, guys getting skipped all over the place. He doesn't feel like the guy that they're going to extend,
Yeah, I do wonder what his ceiling is innings pitched.
Innings?
I think
140?
180 at the absolute most.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's more realistic. Should we start thinking about pitcher here? We might get froze out if we don't take pitcher. We might get froze out at outfield too here. Altuve comes back to us. I mean, Bo Bichette just sitting here feels like, man, nothing's changed with this dude. Why is he still here? Just because he's an infielder?
Yeah, partly. I think Ian Happ, just knowing the room is not going to let you take an outfielder here very soon.
Okay.
I like Bo. Bo's.
I want to take Bo.
Bo's good.
Bo led the league in AL in hits 3 straight years or something. And you think Ian Happ's a better pick than Nick Castellanos?
Maybe not better than Jazz.
Or Jazz, yeah.
I always forget to scroll down for Jazz.
Jazz feels more fun than Ian Happ.
Oh, he's immensely more fun.
Yeah.
10 games of Jazz is more fun than Ian Happ in a full season.
Exactly. Ian Happ, I thought he was him at one point when he was first came up. He was playing second base. I think it was the start of the season versus the Marlins, and he hit a leadoff tank on the first or second pitch of the year. And it was he's arrived, man. This is Ian Happ. This is the future. And I remember being I'm fucking Ian Happ pilled. Here we go. And then he had a really good year last year, but I don't know. It's going to be hard this year without the protection of Belly behind. They still got some good sticks in Swanson and Suzuki and that sort of thing. But he got protected a lot by Bellinger hitting behind him last year.
Yeah, I think that's an underrated point for sure about his production. I don't know that if last season was his ceiling or not. Where can he go from here? He had a really great season. I do like their lineup. He just kind of feels like a positional scarcity type pick right now, which is understandable.
That's fair. The counterpoint to the Jazz versus Happ thing is Jazz is the epitome of as Magikarp says here, he's the epitome of their polar opposite, in terms of Jazz is so fun, 60 games from him, and he just is a waste of spot.
Yeah, if we can get 120 games of Jazz, that would just be fantastic.
Yeah. Rotorun saying that, to be fair, Strider only threw 186 last year, and he was a monster and got to that 300K kind of level and whatnot. I mean, Strider's rates are just arguably one of the best pitchers of
Strider himself is the reason he didn't throw more innings, because he just he's so strikeout heavy, so his pitch count gets up, and then he also allows he's also sets himself up for hard hits as well. I mean, Strider's ceiling is just unbelievable, but he's also the king of edging you on a quality start, because he gives up 6 earned runs on 13 Ks and 5 1/3.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's an entirely fair point. We saw that in the postseason last year, where he goes 4 2/3 with 11 Ks or whatever it was.
Man, that was a That was insane. That was, I mean, that was a good postseason. I don't care what anybody says. That was a good one, and just shocking that team did not make a run.
Yeah, man. Meatwad bringing up a deep dive cut here that I was unfamiliar with. Going back to the hoop streets, James Harden narrative against the Wizards after Kuzma tweeted that they should have kept the Clippers the same and not traded for Harden. Wow, that's a deep cut. There's a lot of layers to that one, Nez. I'm not sure how you unpack it.
Wow. That's good. People hate Kuzma talks way too much shit for playing on the Wizards. He's done this multiple times.
Yeah.
You saw his tweet about the Pistons.
Good Nick Young.
Yeah. That's a good one. Whenever like the Pistons blew a lead and he's like, at this point it's like, don't be that team. Like, dude, you play for the Wizards. What the fuck are you talking about? No one wants to lose to you either.
It's so true. Oh man. All right, let's see. We got Goldschmidt going in. Oh, we got to bring up this image here. This is what you sent me here. All right, Wyatt Langford. Dude, look at those arms. I'm in on this guy. Beefcake season.
Massive, man. You compare him to Evan Carter too. It's like,
yeah,
buddy, move over. Your rookie of the year. Your rookie of the year hopes are over.
You guys keep taking the guy who like walks a lot and gets on base and won a championship in his first year. I'm going to take some beefy fucking baseball boys, all right?
Evan Carter is 190 pounds, 6'4". He's a string bean.
Yeah.
Wyatt Langford's a cool 225. Linebacker. Wyatt Langford.
That's good. I'm in. Sell me this pen. I'm the easiest pen to be sold ever.
Langford is older. That is wild.
Yeah,
that is true.
Point. Good shout there. Lane Thomas go in there. Logan Webb, man, we got Lane no Thomas pitching.
Is a bad click?
I don't know. I liked him a lot last year, but
dude, I think he's like. I don't think there's a reason to think that like he's going to regress too hard. He still projects to steal a healthy amount of bases and hit 20-something home runs. I mean, the Bad X.
Sorry, who's our ace going to be here?
I like Scooble.
You like Scooble more than the Peralta Fried tier?
Yeah, they're like all the same for me. Peralta, Fried, and Grayson, I like in that order, but I do take a lot more Grayson because I'm the Grayson guy.
Are we gonna get froze out at outfield? Should we think about like Cedric Mullins here?
Ooh, I don't like Cedric Mullins anymore.
Okay.
Jordan Walker I could do, but I would probably prefer a pitcher.
Okay, let's do Peralta then.
You can load up on outfield later. Like outfield feels scary to not be a part of the early run, but you can make up for it, in my opinion. There are outfielders late that I think can do you well.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's do it. Yeah, maybe we
let me see here. Give you some
Jordan
names.
Walker's ADP is interesting because like we were all like Jordan Walker pilled for a minute last year. He wasn't in the player pool when we were drafting that, but in the dailies and stuff, when he first came up and he went on that tear and he was he had like a 14 or 15 day on base streak and to start his career, like it was like, oh dude, this guy's a unit and he might be like the face of their future here. A little cheeky backstack of like, actually, let me see, speak out a turn here without looking it up. But yeah, I mean, like a little cheeky backstack here with like Walker, Nolan Arenado, and Nootbaar. Like that's just a little...
I mean, dude, if you think the Cardinals will bounce back, like Nolan Gorman is a good pick too. He's so late, and he projects for like 20s and homers. Lars Nootbaar still projects like damn well, in his own right. 20 home runs, projection wise, with in the teens of walk percentage. Like, I mean, these Cardinals look really stackable right now.
Yeah. for sure. The Gorman price, we talked about it the very first draft we ever did, where it was like, whoa, Gorman's just sitting down here. Both him and Brandon Lau were two guys that stood out to me as like, oh man, these guys got like 35 home run potential and they're just sitting at the bottom of boards.
Yeah, dude. Gorman projects for over 500 plate appearances, 25 homers. You know, his K percentage is out of hand, but you know, he's gonna slug. He's gonna slug, and he's got a decent team around him.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
That's all it takes
and
sometimes.
And he's got who'd they lose? Tyler O'Neill they lost, but they lost someone else too. That might free up some playing time. I'll look.
Let me check the roster resource here.
Yeah.
Did they lose Alec Burleson, or is that?
I think he's still there. I think Burleson's still there.
I don't see him. Oh, he's
okay.
Oh, they've got him in the minors. No.
Yeah.
That's a big boy.
Could Mason Wynn play everyday shortstop for them?
Roster resource thinks that he will.
Yeah.
But
imagine not giving up Dylan Carlson in the Soto deal. Fucking Cardinals.
I love it.
Oh God.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they're Donovan, Goldschmidt, Nootbaar, Arenado, Contreras, Gorman, Walker, Edman for your 1 through 8. That's not bad.
Okay, that's not bad at all. Yeah. I mean, it's thin, but it's not bad by any stretch. Like they're gonna be a team you're gonna be stacking in dailies when they go to like certain parks and whatnot, certain matchups. Look at this gritty veteran. Like this is the equivalent of having like Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, Joshua Palmer, and whatever as like your pitching staff. Sonny Gray, Lance Lynn, Kyle Gibson, Miles Michaelis, Steven Matz. Like that is just some gritty, go choose some innings vets. And occasionally you're going to give us like 7 shutout, and occasionally you're going to get dotted for like 6 in the first 3.
I'm glad that they have a real rotation of 5 guys in there, but they might pace the league in fewest strikeouts, like by far. It's weird. It's a very weirdly built rotation. I don't know what the Cardinals are really doing here. After we make these 2 picks, I am going to
thank you.
Oh, yeah.
J-Train.
That was a great shout. After these 2 picks, I do need to skedaddle. But I'm gonna try to give you some outfield names that people can snipe you on that you can take later.
That's exactly what I need, because then I'll be left holding the bag even harder than I already am right now.
You need to pray that Morel makes it back to you at your 10-11.
Yeah.
Love Morel this season. Like they can't keep him out of the lineup much longer, right? Like they can't.
All right. I think we need some pitching here. Man,
people
why
love
is
Carlos
Bogart
Rodon
so down here? Dude, I like Carlos Rodon too. Like, give me the ceiling.
Yeah, good.
And like he could be a horse for them. They're going to be contending. They're winning. He's a vet arm. Like they have no reason not to ride him if the team's performing.
I'm with you. And then for me, what do you think? Joe Ryan or Mitch Keller, or do you want to go outfield?
I kind of want to go Eloy. Like Eloy or Xander to me has like a huge ceiling compared to this tier.
I like Eloy.
Yeah,
you can find another.
Xander obviously the park. Yeah, the park's worse, and like the park's worse, and the lineup got worse. But like Xander feels mispriced to me. Did you, before you go, did you take a look? Bad X came out last night.
Yep.
Did you take a juxtapose to some of the rankings we've been working off and some of the data here and like see some of the mispriced players?
I didn't go that deep, but I did look at quite a few. The biggest standout, which just put the biggest shit-eating grin on my face, was he has Ellie just way, way below where he's being drafted. Way below.
Interesting.
And I, I co-sign that. I will proudly have 0 Ellie De La Cruz this season.
Oh, interesting. I mean, like he's just so
chance
fun.
in the world.
Yeah, we talked about it last year in the dailies, how he was just like so overpriced and whatever. And the fact that it's like infielder eligibility plus going in the 40s here. Like, who did we take? Like, we got Bo Bichette after him. Yeah, I'll take Bo Bichette every single day of the week.
Where it scares me is like the stolen base upside for him.
Right.
30 and less in 98 games, 35 stolen bases. That's a lot. But dude only like Ellie De La Cruz only slugged 410.
Yeah, but the counterpoint, he hit it to the top of the bleachers, buddy. Yeah,
sometimes it's that simple.
Man. I think the sharp money will be on the side of like fading him in a season-long perspective, but just knowing that he'll smoke some daily slates because he has that kind of daily ceiling, right?
Yeah, no doubt. If they've got a righty at small park, then yeah, he's first round, or if he's in cores or whatever against a righty, he's first round for sure.
Kind of Anthony Santander-esque IMO worth the switch hitting too, where like he's considerably better from the one side.
Mm-hmm.
Or Ozzy Albies-esque potentially. Yeah, maybe that's a better comp.
I love Santander though.
Dogman Chill coming up with that. That's such a good quote, man. Such a good announcer call. That ball had a family.
Yeah, that was good. He's fun, but hey, best of luck. Jack Sawinski will be there for you, man. If that's your
yep, he will be. I love Jack Sawinski.
Dude, that's all you. Kerry Bonds, Sal Frelick, Matt Wallner. There you go. There's your outfield.
Dude, Matt Wallner, that's a good shout too. You want to talk about guys who hit it to the top of the bleachers? Holy.
Yeah, and then pair with a little Edouard Julien at the end. Have a day. Have a day.
Guys, before everybody leaves because Nez is leaving and now you're only stuck with me.
No, you have to stay.
Hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up before you guys leave with Nez. But Nez, are you going to be doing some hoop stuff in the morning tomorrow?
I think so. Yeah, I need to double check. I feel like I have a lot of meetings this week with Bria and our realtor because we're fingers crossed closing on a house here very soon, which would be very exciting. So yeah, wish us luck there. But probably some NBA and maybe some golf tomorrow morning. So yeah, it might be earlier than usual. I usually do 11:30 Eastern. It might be more like 10:30 Eastern, just so I can cram it in. So
okay,
yeah, be on the lookout. Check Twitter and all that. Check Discord. Good luck. Stay and snipe John and watch John draft baseball.
Watch me flounder. All right, peace, bro. Good luck with the house.
See you, dude. Thank you very much.
There we go. All right, I'm just gonna keep it. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect. We can just stay right in this set. Byron Buxton, 120. Oh shit! I was gonna ask him which one of the songs he's about. Which song he always goes to with the solo stuff these days. Commitment going forward though, guys. There will be no off and on the clock this week. We'll still run a show on Friday, but no off and on the clock. Pete's away, and we're gonna move it to Wednesday next week and do like our big game preview and like full Super Bowl pick'ems and all that sort of stuff. We're gonna do on Wednesday. And then we'll probably try and coerce them into drafting a different sport and or a big board. So that will kind of be the plan there. Man, Nathaniel Lowe just falling here. We got some mini stacks available. Christopher Morel is 100% one of these picks for me. I'm addicted. I love him. We could do a little Chicago stack. Or we could stack with Corey Seager with like Josh Jung or Nathaniel. I think I want to take Dansby Swanson with Christopher Morel, though. He just feels sexier than taking Nico. I know Nico's going to lead off, and he's been solid for 2 years. Like Dansby just feels, for whatever reason, he feels like a higher ceiling, even though he's like a bit of a floor pick. Get a little stack there. And the reason we're going to be stacking is I will drop it in the chat for everyone. Stacking Dinger's new episode is about stacking in general, but our guy Baseball did a deep dive into the merits of stacking and came up with all these big, sexy charts and whatnot. I will say, grain of salt associated with stacking is the teams in which stack are usually also the best in quotations and most dialed drafters. So there is a little bit of noise in terms of the sharp community tends to stack more than the recreational community. Therefore, the advance rates over expectation associated with stacking might have a little bit of noise. That being said, especially in terms of weekly outputs. So if you're stacking for the finals, we'll do a deep dive on the schedule and stuff like that as soon as football has done away with, and kind of looking at like dinger finals and stuff like that. Stacking for like the weekly output is huge. And just so you know, the stacking isn't all from one team. It's like, hey, I got 8 stacked hitters on a team. Well, yeah, it's a 3-man, a 2-man, a 2-man, that sort of deal, right? That's only 7. But just to be mindful of. So I encourage everyone to go through and read some of the stuff on stacking dingers, read baseball's thread, and then check out their latest episode here. So I will add that there. Yeah, come back and Nez is gone. Come back and Nez is gone, and so is half the audience. Sorry, GA. Just me, buddy. Yeah, Salad, we are going to force Pete's hand into a dinger draft. Last year, his ROI was astounding in the dinger there. He took Corbin Carroll. We had a lot of fun doing a dinger draft with Pete. We're gonna force his hand. We're gonna make sure we get him in on a dinger. We're gonna make sure maybe even a little puck here, dust off the model, do a little puck draft with him. Maybe we can convince him to draft some golf. We'll have some fun with Pete, hopefully, as often on the clock continues on. Jackson Holiday right beside Jack Sawinski. Wow. Interesting. Jackson Holiday, man, he's that dude's got some confidence. They did like a go to his house, not like MTV Crib style, but like, MLB goes to his house and they check out like his hitting garage and where he hangs out and stuff like that. And he was like talking about himself as like one of the best athletes in the world because he was good at. They played pickleball, they were hitting in the cage, they're doing all this sort of stuff. I don't doubt him, man. This Baltimore team is going to be a lot of fun this year. VAR show goes there. Oh, it's all good. Never mind. In my mind, I was thinking we took Vlad in the first round there, but we didn't. We took Devers and Seager. I was thinking there's a cheeky stack option gone. Man, who are you guys like favorite targets now? Some of your mispriced players. Start dropping them in the chat for me here because, admittedly, I'm a little bit behind on the baseball prep. Man, we've been doing so much football, so much hoops. Been really dialed in that, but like baseball, my first true love, absolutely. But in terms of like the prep, it's kind of like alarming to me to see some of like these names buried down here. Like I know Chris Bryant didn't have a good year last year and he stopped lifting the baseball, but like something about my mind is just like Chris Bryant in course has to get home one of these days. I don't know. And the same thing with Stanton. Like the lineup has gotten like way better around him. They got another guy that they can put in the outfield and he could play like almost full-time DH. Like why is Stanton so buried? I know he strikes out a ton, but like the pop's not going anywhere. Eric Feed as one of your favorite late round. I like that. Jesus Lazar, there we go. Wu-Tang Killer Bees knows his ball. Yeah, I think Pete, I'm trying to think who else Pete had on that team. Appreciate you, Rod, sticking it out here. All right, let's check out some more names here. Carlos Correa, Matt Chapman. Yeah, Matt Chapman doesn't have a home yet. Yeah, Correa's ADP just feels broken. Yu Darvish feels like a slam click for me. I'm super in on that, I think. Still a lot of good free agents out there. Neumy sent me a message the other day when the Mariners pulled off the trade for Jorge Polanco, and he's like, congrats on Jorge. And I got more excited because I thought it was Jorge Soler. I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense to sign him. But there's some good names out here. Oh, Tyler O'Neill tempting me so hard. Man, I'm going to take Stanton. I think we need a little bit of outfield help here. I've watched way too much Jared Kelnick in my life to just know I don't love the kid. I hope he can figure it out and fix the hole in his swing. He got hot for a minute or two there, but like I don't know, something about Stanton just feels like we needed like a little bit of, not beacon of health, but feels like we needed a little bit of pop in this outfield. Morel, Eloy, Jazz Chisholm, Acuna. I don't know. A lot of I don't knows right now with the baseball stuff. Yeah, Jonathan India pushed all down. I think the thesis, T-Bear, with like Jonathan India is they were talking about like there were too many mouths to feed with Cincinnati. Yeah, just like in terms of like where the playing time was going to come from. If you got to find a home for Spencer Steer, it's hard to think that Jonathan India would be the odd man out. But I think last year, they were talking about him as like a potential like trade piece, which shocked me too because I think he's a good baseball player. Let's look at the Reds for a second here. Bring up roster resource here. Why did it bring up this version of it? There we go. They got Jonathan India listed at DH. And they got Christian Encarnacion Strand on the bench. Yeah, so like if you put Marte at third, Ellie at short, Matt McLean had a sick year last year and split between short and second, but Ellie's got everyday short now. So Matt McLean moves to second base full time, and you just take Matt McLean over Jonathan India, I guess. And then DH is low key up for grabs because they just paid Candelario for a reason, right? And then if Christian Encarnacion Strand like performs, maybe he plays every day first base, and then Candelario becomes DH. Yeah, it's very interesting. Outfield platoon. I mean, I think Fraley has the upper hand over Will Benson there, but I like Fraley, and Fraley had a nice year last year. Interesting. The thing is, Tyler Stevenson DH'd last year a bit too on his days off. Maybe this lineup's too good for that to happen again, but yeah, I mean, India feels like he should get every day at bats somewhere. I just don't know if Cincinnati's the place anymore. Such a good park too. Yeah, who's applying for the new VP position? Tweeted that one out today. Colt Keith season. Is this a full-fledged homer take on a guy I don't know what's up with? The kid, he's 35 now. Oh, I can't turn off my brain sometimes. All right. J-Train's got a list for me here. One of those players just went. Fuck, Nez gave us Kerry Bonds too, and Kerry Carpenter just went. So we got Taylor Ward on there too. We got to consult the list here. Hey, I like that some of these names I'm in agreement with. Like the Wallner one feels good. The Gorman one feels good. Isak Paredes jumps off the page to me here for whatever reason. Same with Correa. We're not stacking all that much right now. Just a byproduct of not being like familiar enough with ADP. We could take like Arias with Jazz Chisholm, but doesn't feel as good a click. Pavetta, Braxton Garrett. Let's shoot the moon on Nick Lodolo or Braxton Garrett. Let's shoot the moon on one of them. We got like this kind of like boring, oft injured vet staff right now. Let's take Lodolo. Let's do it. Maybe we should take him Braxton Garrett. Nick Pivetta feels like way safer. Let's shoot the moon. I know Nick Lodolo is one of baseball's highest owned players after the warm up contest there, the bullpen contest. So there we go. We're getting Lodolo love in the chat. All right, perfect. Yeah, Paredes too cheap again. I like that call for sure. India to Colorado. Wow. Yeah, I mean anyone to Colorado, but like if that's a real possibility. Yeah, Zach Geoff. Yeah, where did he go in this one? Is he gone yet? The problem is just like I mean, maybe there's no one fun. Maybe you could backstack like Brent Rooker and Geoff or whatever. Ryan Noda. You could do something like that. Had a nice end of the year last year. I remember even when they were at home, like we were stacking A's in daily drafts, and I was like, what are we doing out here? Wow, Michael King really pushing up. Michael King was going way deeper in the first couple we did there. People really buying into the strikeout rate that we saw at the tail end of last year. Big part of the trade piece in the Soto deal. Yeah, I'm not really well versed on the O's sale. Like I saw them sell, and it was like a team of buyers there. I don't know. Like, why would you? Feels like a weird time to sell that franchise when like they're on the up and up like that. I'm actually not overly well versed. I just saw like the sale of the deal. Oh, Matt doing this little mini stack that Sam Olson told us he likes. That Naylor and Jimenez in the middle there. Ezekiel Tovar with a little stack with Chris Bryant. Wow, Wyatt Langford in the 10th, 109. Like people just really think he's going to break camp and be like every day. I don't see why not, especially for like a win now team. That's just interesting. I didn't know. I was not familiar with his game in that on that level. Like the first draft we did, I thought it was like, oh yeah, this is a fun like flyer. Let's see. Still listed as a non-roster invitee. Listed as a DH too. Huh. Leody Taveras plays center. Yeah, Evan Carter penciled in and Adolis penciled in every day. So rotationary outfield with the hope that he overtakes Tavares at some point. Interesting. Huh. They're going to have DH at bats to go around too because Mitch Garver's gone. If Seager misses time with the hernia too. Huh. Okay, Mackenzie Gore. Oh, shoot. Bryce Miller. Wow. Braxton Garrett's still sitting there for us. I think we might just take both. Dang, Gorman went there. That would have been a fun pick for us. Rizzo as a cheap stack with Stanton. Blah. Doesn't that just feel like a Rizzo Stanton stack just feels like so 2014? I do want to correlate in some regard here. And Wallner already went, right? Oh no, Wallner didn't go. All right, let's do the Wallner thing. Let's put Wallner with Carlos Correa and be like they hit in the middle of that lineup together. Let's do that. Neumy will be happy. Nez will be happy that I used some of his info. Matt Wallner's getting some praise from people smarter than me right now. Oh, there goes Julian, which could have been the other part of that stack. Good Canadian boy who's going to be leading off now that Polanco's gone. Not that Polanco necessarily would have let off, but just like the playing time is like more secure now. Kind of evergreen conversation that like the depth of quality infielders is just forever still there. All right, what's Billy got for me here? He likes Braxton Garrett a lot this year. Innings have gone up each of the last three: 119, 125, 159, including minors. Love that shout. Building them up nicely. Let's take a look at the Marlins rotation for half a second here. Trevor Rogers coming back. Okay. All right. Edward Cabrera, Braxton Garrett, Yuri Perez, Jesus Luzardo. That's kind of fun, man. Marlins have just had good young pitching forever. I feel like they got like some other guys too that I'm forgetting about. Like obviously the Sandy Alcantara when he comes back kind of deal, but I think he's gonna miss like all of this year. When's his estimated return? Yep. Surgery date was middle of last year. I mean, yeah, he's in that camp with like way post All-Star break if there's any chance he could possibly throw. Oh, that's the other guy I was thinking of. Sixto Sanchez, man. That guy was hyped every single year forever that he was going to be like the next difference maker in this staff. All right, Sal Frelick going there. Carlson, Carnacion, Strand. Henry Davis, Steam for Nez catching up there. A little mini stack with the Oatmeal Reynolds. Max Kepler. Okay. All right, someone start dropping me some sleepers here for your boy in the back. I guess that's my job, huh? Let's take a look. Let's get scrolling. Should we do something a little on brand here? Do we need 7 outfielders when you take Acuna? I mean, this is not exactly the beacon of health. Jazz, Chisholm, Eloy, Morel, Stanton. Wallner could be like a glorified platoon if things don't break right. This is not exactly the greatest. But infield feels strong. Devers, Seager, Bobichette, Swanson. Okay, so we got 4 stacked hitters right now. I think if we can get to 6 stacked hitters by tacking on like an auxiliary piece of like who's left on Atlanta? Everyone goes, huh? I was thinking Sean Murphy. Oh, Sean Murphy's still there. Like you could do like Sean Murphy with Acuna. The days that he plays, he'll hit in the middle of the order, hits the ball hard. It's just like the ceiling of catcher feels so blah. You could do Andrew Vaughn with Eloy. Fuck it. Let's play the hits. Let's do our Seattle bullshit. Let's play the hits, baby. Let's do it. Jorge Polanco and Ty France right in the middle of that order. Let's put them together and see what happens. The other one I was thinking was like if I could get like Luke Raley or Haniger and we could build out like a 3 stack of Seattle, but I think we got to use the last pick here on a pitcher and make this a 7-7-6. Probably. We played the hits, guys. We played the hits. Yeah, Andrew Vaughn and Ty France are the same person. I'm convinced. It's not a bad call. That is not a bad call at all. Ooh, Estrada. Estrada, that we did that one in the very first one we did on stream. We thought like Estrada was mispriced in general. Yeah, last round Cal Raleigh. I think his at bats are safe, man. He's a decent defensive catcher, and like Garver will do the DHing the majority of the time. Let's see here. I highly doubt Brooks Lee's getting drafted in the GA. I think it's just like way too deep. Let's see what the little nugget on his name is. Oh, I don't know. Might not be a bad shout. He's really young though. He's like 22 still. 22, something like that. Wow, Mountcastle goes this late, huh? I mean, that park just plays so bad for right-handed power now, but Mountcastle seems like a guy who can overcome it. Brian De La Cruz, Brenton Doyle, Colorado. Nelson Velasquez, man, we were drafting him in the dailies a good amount last year. He hits the ball freaking hard. And once they made the deal from like with the Cubs, he became like an everyday player there. Yanier Diaz, I don't know. Do we think he's everyday catcher? And Martin Maldonado is just the framer in the postseason. James Paxton, Big Maple, good Canadian kid. I've got a base hit off him in my career, boys. You remember that. Anytime anyone asks you, you just remember that at one point in my life, I could swing it a little bit. Braves onslaught. Okay, let's see the Braves onslaught. Track has been a lot of drafts with us today. If you hanging out in the chat, let me know. Been noticing them in the Hoop Street. Decent amount. Matt Olson and Austin Riley to start. Rattles off some aces. Ozuna again there. It's a little three-way Atlanta. And then tacks on Orlando Arcia. Yeah, Vaughn Grisham gone too. So like playing time just more and more secure for Orlando Arcia. Jokingly, as we said so many times last year, all-star game participant Orlando Arcia. Don't forget it. I wouldn't let that one die last year. Oh, there you go. Pitch. Okay, there we go. Perfect. There we go. Put it together. Sweet, buddy. There we go. Yeah, man, the mega stack thesis is turning season-long baseball into kind of like week 17 football kind of deal. Oh, here we go. Turn me up, Scott, it for me. I have not done the full deep dive. I still have here. I have this sitting here, right on the desktop. I have this last year's though. So this is last year's sitting right here. I need this for this year. If anyone is familiar or has this for me, or if it's pinned in the Discord or something that I'm unfamiliar with, yes, please let me know because I would I'd like to know. Sniped on Ranger Suarez, first time anyone's ever said that. Dude, Taj Bradley might have to throw innings this year. That rotation's thin. He might be their healthiest pitcher. All right. I think we got to attack on a seventh pitcher, right? Scooble, Freddie Peralta, Rodon, Darvish, Lodolo, Garrett. That feels thin, man. And outfield feels like it feels very risk adverse in terms of the profiles that we took. I think we got to go pitcher here. Nez would love us to take JP Sears. Does Paul Skeens even break camp? Like that feels crazy. Edward Cabrera, the leader in the clubhouse for me right now. You could talk me into Sears. You could talk me into Sean Manaea. You could talk me into Kenta Maeda. It's gone. Our third dinger. Let's take a look at that again. Francisco Alvarez. Ease of access and like approachability for baseball. I'm a big fan of the way Underdog does it, especially for the daily contest, that you don't have to go like catcher and first base, second base, whatever. But it might be a cool wrinkle to have like a small time box contest that did that sort of thing. And it was still best ball, but it was positional designation. I don't know how much work that would be on the back end. Let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in. I think that'd be kind of cool. It might be too hard to execute, but yeah. 686 is fun. Tatis at 2 should get a unique combo. Yeah. Tatis at 2, man. Like, you're not going to talk me off that one. I love that. This front end tier, man. Honest to God, you can mix and match a lot of this outside of like just taking your Acuna exposure when you get it. But like Soto versus Tatis, like that's way closer than ADP gives it credit. I think Julio is probably the biggest wild card in the middle, to be honest. Like Mookie Betts falling to 7 here, like that seems really nice. I mean, Jordan Alvarez, like baseball did Jordan Alvarez out at 1. Great way to flip the board. Great way to make a unique combo. You can't tell me that he's not arguably the best hitter in baseball on any given day. Yankees. Okay, so Yankees and Dodgers playoff schedule blows. In terms of like what though? Like their opponents or their parks? Because I wouldn't be overly concerned about. I mean, I'd be kind of concerned about opponents if you see like a rotation that is just so nasty that lines up. Or games, I would be more concerned. Oh, okay, there you go. Yankees only get 12 games in each of the playoff round. That's a huge knock. That is a huge knock in this scoring format. That's a really good shout. Turn me up. Love that. Good call. Interesting. Freeman and Olsen over Carroll, Jordan, and Tucker. In a vacuum, I could get on board with it. But the positional designation makes it so hard. Yeah. Like just like the positional designation makes it really hard. The outfield just thins out in a heartbeat. Yeah. That'll always be the bull case for outfielder early in these formats. Yeah, Blake, see, this is an interesting thing in terms of like daily contests. Like we need positions in NBA daily or like in that. The thing that makes NBA so great and so awesome for the site is its ease to draft. The Superflex is just like, people can auto draft and that's what provides the liquidity to the player pool and stuff. The thing that's hard about like MLB dailies and why they could maybe not get to the level in which NBA is at is because of the positional designation. I'd be really interested to see what would happen if we had baseball dailies without positions. I think it's more fun to build with positions. I think it's more fun for like a hand builder to draft if you're only going to do like a couple. But yeah, I'm a proponent of the positions too outside of NBA. I think that's what leads to such great liquidity in the player pool. All right, let's do this. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there you go. People chase guards, scoring regular points. Yeah, like you'd hunt the bigs on the stocks and stuff. That's great. Yeah, nice draft, Matt. GG's to everyone in the chat that jumped in on that draft here. Keep doing them. I want to do a perfect game. Maybe we'll do a perfect game, maybe a paywall perfect game soon. I want to make sure I get some of those $100 ones in there. And I got to start pulling my weight around here with these dingers in the evenings here. I got to start rattling some off. So maybe I'll fire some pings in the Discord when I jump in some because I'm getting the itch for baseball. It'll definitely happen once pitchers and catchers report and that sort of thing, and might be going to spring training this year too. So could be sparking my interest even more so there. Yeah. Anyways, if you guys stuck it out, please, on your way out the door, please and thank you. Hit the like, the notification. If you're not playing on Underdog Fantasy, which I assume the majority of you are, but if you found your way this deep in the show and you are not, use promo code MLB at sign up. 100% match deposit up to 100 USD. Nez will be back behind the paywall tomorrow doing hoops and maybe PGA, as he alluded to early there. I will do something. I will be participating. I know it's been Nez only so far on the Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I will be participating and pulling my weight on some of that stuff, probably more so on the baseball side of things. But I will be putting in as well with some of those solo streams. So if you're not a member and you want to get access to those, hit that join button somewhere down around here. And best of luck to everybody in the NBA streets tonight, and keep drafting these dingers. Love to see it. Everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. Peace.